Today, I just thought I'd just make a quick little video regarding a recent upgrade that is actually fairly quick and not very expensive, but it's a pretty decent little upgrade. And what I'm talking about is the brakes. Um, when I was first doing research on my bike, on the SJ09, I seen some reviewers. They talked about the brakes on this, and they said that the brakes were kind of soft and spongy and just not real strong. But they seemed fine to me. I didn't think that they were mushy at all. I never really felt that that it was weak on brakes. But recently, I was just kind of thinking that my rear brakes were getting more worn down because of all of the, I don't know if the camera's going to pick them up. They look new, but I took them off and found that they had only really worn down about 1 millimeter. So I replaced the rear first, and I think that the rear is it's a Nissan, the cylinders. I mean the brake caliper is Nissan, and the front is a different name. I'll have to annotate that, but the front is actually pretty decent. It's a radial design. It's all alloy, so it's really lightweight. Um, and so, I mean, uh, experts will tell you that when you take the brake calipers off, you want to hang them with a zip tie or a bungee or something like that. But really, as lightweight as they are, I don't really see that it's an issue, although I did hook a bungee to it when I didn't have my hands on it. But I replaced the brake pads with EBC centered pads, and I think that the front and the rear came with centered, but it must have been a different material because with the EBC pads, it feels like I have a lot more bite on the front disc. And what I mean by that is it takes less lever pressure to get the same result. I mean, I can completely stop the bike in a hard stop with just one finger, and I couldn't do that before. I mean, it had really good brakes, but it's definitely an improvement. Now, there was a break-in period, and with at first the rear brake felt like it dragged an awful lot, and it didn't really have a lot of braking force. But after riding it in several stops and some miles, it's back exactly how it was before with the OEM brakes. But the front brakes, there really wasn't any break-in. It just all of a sudden it's just like there's a lot more braking force there, and it like I say, I believe it came with centered, and but it's just a different type of material. But the EBC for $35 for a set, I mean, it's really, I'm very happy with them. And also, I just wanted to go into my brakes and make sure that everything was looking right, and that the pistons in the caliper were clean, and there wasn't any sign of leaking or nothing, and they looked really well. Now, I think they'll last for a long time, and some people say that the center brakes are harder on your brake rotors, but I mean, you're gonna get a lot of miles out of them. I mean, you probably get 100,000 miles or several years out of a set of rotors, and especially since the load is spread out twice, with two sets of brakes on the one wheel. But everything wears out, so I would rather wear out my brakes, which is easier to get to and cheaper than trying to use my clutch and such, which is a little bit harder, more expensive. Now, when I did take them apart, I've seen several videos where people went ahead and they removed the reflector. I don't really get why. I mean, maybe to save weight. I don't know. I mean, it's functional. I decided just to leave it on because, I mean, It was put on there for a purpose, for legal reasons, although, I doubt that you would ever get stopped or cited for not having it. I mean, at least not in Arizona. But I left it, and I left my rear fender too, because if you want the fender eliminator one, that's totally fine. But the rear fender works really well with the bags because it kind of sticks out. If I didn't run the bags, then maybe I might think about it. Although on rainy days, you tend to get a lot more water splashed up. But the brake job was really quite easy. I just had just a really nice day, and I just kind of hung out in the garage with iced tea and my lovely assistant, and got it done. But it's absolutely worth it. Anyways, it's a great investment. I highly recommend it. I'm really happy with them.